We saw your webinars, Franco. We know.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Yeah, thank you. All right. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Duda eCommerce webinars. Today, we have some dear friends of ours at Duda and some experts in the e-commerce space, which we'll be talking about here shortly. And what we're going to do is let's take a few minutes and welcome everybody into the webinar. And if anybody's joining, please comment in the comments section in the YouTube link and let us know where you are from. We'll do some quick introductions as well. Nadya, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you are?
Sure. I'm Nadya Chelnokov. I'm with Duda for 2 years and a few months already, proudly building e-commerce website building platform. In product management, I'm around 7 years. I built all kinds of different SaaS platforms for cloud communication, transaction laundering prevention, delivery logistics, and some others.
That's a lot. It sounds like you have a very full roster. Excellent. Thank you for that. And Jonathan, how about a little bit about yourself?
Hi. Happy to be here, Franco. So I'm with Duda for 4 years now, and I'm the group product manager of the e-commerce group. We now have a full e-commerce group with 3 teams on that, working on our new solution, which is the topic of our meeting today.
Fantastic, thank you. And it looks like we have the world today on the webinar. We have every Tube TV from Switzerland. Welcome. Yarne from Paris, Carlos from Colombia. It must be a little bit warmer than it is in Nashville, Tennessee today. We're close to freezing, so I'm ready to be in Colombia. Tony, welcome from Ireland. Rob from Barcelona, Aussie from Barcelona. That's got to be an interesting story as well. Bizbox from England, welcome. David from Atlanta, not too far away, about 3 hours. So I'll do a quick introduction. Franco Valentino with Narrative SEO, and I'm your host today for this Duda webinar, coming to you from Nashville. And let's, as we wait for a few more folks to join, it's always fun to ask what people do and what their hobbies are. So Nadya, why don't you lead us off and tell us a little bit about what you like to do in your spare time?
Well, among my favorite hobbies are the dancing. I actually really like to, move after all the software development sitting job. And also I like to walk and see the architecture of different cities, especially Tel Aviv.
That sounds like a lot of fun. And you're right, sitting in a chair for 10 hours a day is not good for anybody. Jonathan, how about you?
So actually, I like to continue to sit in the chair sometimes and continue, with gaming experiences, shooters, other stuff, mostly multiplayer.
Excellent. Yes, we are big fans of Call of Duty in this house, as well as a few other things. So we'll leave it at that. It's definitely a rabbit hole. My favorite thing is flying. I've been flying. My father was a fighter pilot, and I grew up around airplanes. So I have a tiny airplane that I try to fly around the U.S. And my wife thinks I'm absolutely insane, and she never joins me. But that's for another story. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Renee in Seattle. We have Cold in Montana. That's almost like one of those movie titles, right? Sleepless in Seattle. It's Cold in Montana. Kane, welcome. All right. Thanks, everybody. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Today, we have a lot of ground to cover. We have a new product that has joined the ranks of Duda. Duda has purchased Snipcart, and the CEO could not be here today. Francois is under the weather. So Francois, if you're watching, we hope you're feeling better, and we hope you return very soon. And with that, why don't we kick it off? Let's talk a little bit about e-commerce and how important this is, right? The world after recent events that have happened over the past couple of years has become remote. E-commerce has gone remote, and this is a trend that's been happening for the last decade and continues that way, right? The more we stay home, the more we want convenience features, the more we want to stay home and just have things brought to us. So e-commerce, as we all know, is a critical component of delivery, as well as capability, not only for us as clients, but also for agencies and businesses as well. It's a natural component of a business these days as a channel. So why don't we talk a little bit about and Nadya, maybe you can kick us off a little bit about what's the idea behind this integration for this e-commerce component, what we're calling it, and what it means to Duda.
Sure. So we decided to create this integration and to build a native e-commerce solution with different thoughts in mind. First of all, we know how important for our customers design flexibility and how proud they are to use all the capabilities of Duda. So we really wanted to transfer it to the e-commerce solution as well. Another thing, we really wanted to have the really best performance. We strive for the best performance in the market. We use Google Web Vitals and all kinds of different metrics to measure this performance. And again, we really wanted to bring it to the e-commerce world, because we all know how important it is to to be able to buy a product in 20 seconds. And if the page is not loading, then we lose the site visitors. Another important component that we wanted to incorporate in the solution is all that Duda can offer, the white label solution, all the tools for building the websites for the small businesses, and the ability to make it fast, because we all know you can build some website in another e-commerce platform, but then it can take you much more time and resources, and maybe you also will need to write a code here and there to customize your solution. So our strategy is to really create the no-code solution, which you can use to build stores fast and to have a top performance, and just to make your customers sell on their stores. So if you don't mind, I also wanted to show a quick demo of the solution.
Sure. And while you do that, let's discuss a little bit about, you mentioned some very key factors there, right? Core Web Vitals, absolutely critical for search visibility, and also, more importantly, customer happiness and trust, right? Speed is a trust signal. And, the faster we can develop in today's world, the quicker we are to market. But, we all know that I think Google published some statistics a few years ago, and I'll have to refresh these, but after a 3-second load time, you lose something like 60+% of your visitors, especially in e-commerce, right? Convenience is what we all want. I want my Amazon packages right now. Right. So, yeah, but great points. Jonathan, as Nadya is pulling up the screen, do you have anything to add to the rapid application development or the sort of the behind the scenes?
Yeah, to follow up on Nadya, I think that one of the main things that we want to do with the native e-commerce solution is to bring all the qualities and all the benefits that our users love about Duda into the e-commerce space, as mentioned, to build things faster, to be able to serve your clients faster, to have design flexibility. And I think one of the benefits that people will see here very soon is that they get the Duda experience that they know and they like within the e-commerce experience right out of the box.
That's a great point. And Justin actually asked a very interesting question, which is, do you offer drop shipping or print on demand services yet? We'll get into a little bit more of the specifics as we go through the presentation. So please gather your questions, post them in the comments, and hopefully we'll answer them as we go along and through the rest of the webinar. But at the end, we'll have a little bit of a Q&A session as well if we have some time. So Nadya, thank you for presenting. We'll look forward to this beautiful page we're looking at.
Yeah. So for the sake of demo, I actually went ahead and created the website from the template, one of the templates that has the new native e-commerce solution. And this is a template which you can actually use, just add your assets, add products, configure the settings, and publish the site. In the editor, we also tried not to change the location of the e-commerce, and the look and feel is the look and feel of any e-commerce website builder best practices that you could use before. we divided it into 3 sections: store management, containing all kinds of settings for the back office and the product catalog, our very own Duda product catalog, store pages, and store widgets. So I configured here my payment gateway settings, shipping, and taxes. And I want to show you, first of all, the product catalog. Because I think we're close to Christmas, I created here the Christmas sweater for my store. I put different pictures, and actually then I decided that I have different options of this sweater. So I can go ahead and manage my variants created. I don't sell golden sweaters because golden Christmas sweaters are out of fashion, I think, since 1920s.
I gotta make a note of that. No.
So yeah, and I put a little bit higher price on the red sweater because, as we all know, it's the most popular Christmas sweater. And I can change the inventory. So my small blue sweater is out of stock. And I switched off other options that I don't want to sell, or I just didn't receive from the warehouse. Also, I do have this product description area, but in design of my website, I noticed that I want to have more descriptions in different parts of the screen. So I used a brand new feature that actually was released today, custom fields. You can add additional fields to the product so that you could display additional information in different areas of the page. In a second, we will see it. So yeah, I have everything, and now I just want to see how it looks like in the editor. So let's check it out. So here, very important point to make, and I think actually already did it in the beginning. We build a Duda native e-commerce with design flexibility in mind. And when we say design flexibility, we mean full design flexibility. So here you can see that each element on the page is a separate Duda widget. It allows us, again, to provide a perfect performance to be able to change and design the product page as you like. And since it's built on the technology of dynamic pages, once you design one product page, you can see that the other product pages will have the similar design. So here, for example, I added this custom fields using the connected data element. It's very easy to use. You have here all the fields that you just saw in the catalog, and you connect it to the specific field you want to display. So this is really important to emphasize the ability to design all kinds of different designs within the store pages. And of course, I have all the other capability of the store. I can set up the payment gateways. We can talk about it later in more details. Shipping methods, taxes, discounts, so everything that you need in order to successfully set up the back office of your store.
Does this support also like Affirm payments or Klaviyo payments, those types of systems?
So currently, inside the main version, we have these three most popular payment gateways. But since we know that it's very important to add all kinds of different payment methods, first of all, we're working on adding more, and also we created the API for integration. So this API is available, and it can be easily used in order to create more integrations with Klaviyo, for example.
Fantastic. So obviously this is a WYSIWYG, right? What you see is what you get. Very intuitive design. Every Tube TV says that's fire. That's fantastic. Very excited about that. I'm glad that everybody seems to be enjoying what we're seeing. So let's dive in a little bit deeper on the site building time reduction, right? Centralized server is the assumption, and also backups automated. Jonathan, can you tell us a little bit more about the back end of what we're seeing?
Yeah, so everything is built, on the same technology that serves all Duda sites, which means the high runtime performance, the uptime performance that we are very committed to. And each year, if you look at our small link of incidents report, you see that the platform is always up. Everything is loaded very fast to any mobile or uh, tablet or desktop devices. I don't know if anyone remembers, but there's this famous chart that Google issues, I think, each month with the core web vital score of each of the website building platforms, and Duda keeps leading it and keeps building a big gap from all the other competitors. And this is something that you get with the native e-commerce. You get exactly that. Everything is powered with the same technology.
Critically important. We all know if anybody that's been in e-commerce for a while that's had a WooCommerce store, right, or had a shared server for WordPress knows the pain and agony that you have to go through to get a good, even a decent core web vital. So that we can't overlook that point. That is an incredible achievement, regardless of what platform we're talking about. So that also means that the themes are fast and light, and that's usually where the problems come in. So let's talk a little bit about since this is an agency tool. If I have multiple clients that now all of a sudden want to stand up e-commerce shops, it's a great tool. It's a great channel for an agency to have more clients within that space, management, maintenance opportunity. How can a Duda e-commerce store or a Duda shop owner agency manage their clients with a book of e-commerce stores?
Yeah. So I think first, we need to remind everything that Duda gives you in the general platform to manage your clients. I know that some of our viewers today are not using Duda yet. So it's good to mention that we have a very robust and strong client management that allows you to bring your clients into the platform to decide exactly which permissions do you want to give them. If you want to give them only a permission to the back office of the store, for example, as Nadya presented, only to manage the catalog, to change the images of products, to add coupon, to work on orders, etc. Or if you want to give them more permissions, for example, to do small design changes, to change some of the copies of the store. So first, this is one thing that you get from Duda out of the box just by using Duda, and we pull this into Duda native e-commerce. The second thing is for each client, for each website that you create in Duda, is reducing the time to build. We know that each time we send a survey, each time we talk with our users, they tell us this is just a faster platform. Me and Nadya, we were both in a call with a very big user of us that builds, I think, tens of e-commerce sites each year. And they told us, if we would do this on another platform, I won't say the name of the platform, it would take us 3 times more.
That's so impactful. I mean, when you think about that, it's multiplication basically, right? It's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So its scaling is much more. You have much more capability in that sense. And let's talk a little bit about scaling. One of the things that you do to scale a shop as well is offer features and benefits to the clients, right? Like couponing. We're coming out of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday season and heading into the holidays. This is busy season for e-commerce, right? So what capabilities does the system have as far as couponing, special offers, potentially headers? Maybe Nadya can tell us a little bit about that part.
Yeah, so we currently support the coupon codes on the checkout. You can configure it in the settings of the back office and use it for creating multiple coupons and using it all together. And basically using it now it's the best time to use it as it's a holiday season. And then we also plan to introduce more different combined discounts, all kinds of bundles and abilities to create the offerings of additional products and to upsell the products in the store.
Bundling is something that's very important, right? I mean, that's something that we see typically in a holiday season, right? Also with especially replaceable components, right? I always need an extra filter, an extra bulb, etc. Categorization. Jonathan, how is the system set up as far as e-commerce where all of a sudden I can have a category of a particular product?
Yeah, so it's very straightforward. You take the products in the catalog and you can assign each product to different categories. And then, of course, and this is, as you mentioned, the big thing, when you design the websites, you can use the product gallery to show and to highlight the relevant products in each place. For example, if you have something on sale and you want it to be straight at the homepage above the fold for people to see. If you want, for example, to have at the bottom of each product page a gallery with the most popular products, we know that this always works. People usually want to buy what other people want to buy.
Yeah, upsell and cross sell again. If it's it depends on the type of store, but that should be 10, maybe 20% of additional sales. It's a great feature. So thank you for covering that as well. JT brings up a very good question. Excuse me. Every tube YouTube brings up. We'll get to your question in a minute, JT. But every YouTube says, is checkout page also customizable? We know how important that is.
Yeah, so I want to refer to that, and I will take it off with one of the things that Nadya said in the demo. She said this is a feature that we released just today about the custom fields. So the native store is in its beginnings, and as you see, we add features every day. So we currently don't have customizability for the checkout, but this is one of the big things on our roadmap. The Snipcart technology, who was acquired by Duda, allows us to do that, and we are very certainly looking into allowing users to customize this to create a unified experience, for the buyer with the brand, to make sure that the checkout is optimized because we know how much important this is for e-commerce. And I guess we of course talk about all the questions that people have. That for many things that people ask if we have or we don't have, they are very close down the road, and we will have them soon, even if we don't have them today. So we very much encourage people, to check the native store, and if what they see is not there, of course, go to the support portal, go to the idea portal, tell us what they think, but always to check back again a few weeks later, because there's a very good chance that what they've looked for is already there.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful point. This is a new product, right? And it's refreshing, to understand that the product team, Jonathan and Nadya that are here, and Francois, who couldn't be with us today, are actually listening, right, as a new product and taking in the feedback. So sometimes with new products, you have to be a little bit patient, but you guys are iterating incredibly quickly, and you've already got a very full package together for everyone. So I want to thank you for that as a Duda client as well. So let's go to Mike Alaha's questions. Does this work with subscriptions? And JT had also asked a similar question.
Yeah. So as I also already said, I think it's very important, and we see the big correlation between the membership feature that we have in the store and the ability to create the plans or subscriptions for specific products. Sometimes it can be like services, or maybe some gym classes, or even just the products to be sent every month, and to be able to change the pricing model of the product from just a one-time purchase to subscription. It's in a very close roadmap, as Jonathan mentioned. So we know that it's a top needed feature, and we're working on making it available.
And constant improvement. I think that's what we're hearing from the product team, which is incredible. So Doc, thanks for joining us. Doc is a friend of the show. He's been on almost every webinar. Thank you again for joining from Mexico. So another international viewer. Doc asked, did you need to modify the original forum function of Snipcart significantly?
No, we actually didn't need to, because we understand that Snipcart has a very huge experience in checkout functionality, and known for the fast and optimized checkout. We will be representing later on the specific fields and even overall ability to change the checkout experience. We know that most important, and actually please chip in with your answers, most important things is to have ability to add custom fields on the checkout, sorry. All kinds of legal things depending on the country, and maybe some additional things for the customers to check, like terms and conditions and other things. But we will also be very happy to hear what additional functionalities for design flexibility you will need for the checkout.
Excellent, excellent. Also, let's go to Shane's question. Are there any plans to extend the payment gateway options beyond Stripe and PayPal?
So the answer is definitely yes. And connecting to the previous question, did we change things in the Snipcart technology? And the answer is no. And here is as well, Snipcart is very much built into having a lot of payment gateways enabled and custom payment gateways, and we are adding more and more nowadays. And you should, guys, expect to see some new payment gateways in the near future and added along this year, along the coming year, and even more than that. And this is because, again, we kept the core technology, and what we do in this building of the native store, to follow up on the previous question, is that we allow many things that until now with the original Snipcart technology, you needed to have some kind of development skills, even if it's just small scripting or CSS or things like that, and we bring it productized into the Duda platform that you can do it with the UI, and into the extreme, you can do it. You can give your client a permission to do it, and you can trust them to be able to manage the site and to do the needed changes from time to time.
That's fantastic. Yeah, thank you for that answer, Jonathan. And please keep the questions coming. We've got some fantastic questions, and we'll answer a couple more, and then let's talk about workflow. Let's say you're an agency owner and you want to actually build out a couple of e-commerce sites for customers. What does that workflow look like currently, and how can our viewers leverage that? Let's go quickly to Kelly McTammany's question. So she asked two questions. Does this work with multi-language sites? And two, is there a product search with sort and filter options?
Perfect question, Kelly. I think I will answer the second one, and I will let Jonathan answer the first one. So we are currently creating the basically the beginning of the feature of the product search and sort and filter. So you'll be able to check it out soon. And
yeah. So regarding the multilingual question, we know that this is a need. We heard this a lot again and again, and we know that Duda has a multilingual feature that was not available in our previous e-commerce solution, and this is indeed one of the things that we want to bring into the native store. We do know that as it is considered kind of an advanced feature for many users, it will probably be a bit later on the roadmap. So when I said earlier, checking the next 2 weeks, so it probably be at least for 6 weeks or a bit more than that. But it is on the roadmap, and we know that users want that.
Excellent, and thanks for the question, Kelly. Very, very salient. Another question that sort of at the back of mind. Customer self-service. We've been talking about a lot of features where customizing checkout, perhaps some tracking. Is there a My Account functionality within that where the customers can go in and look at their previous orders and histories, etc.?
So this is something that, as I mentioned, will be tightly coupled with the membership feature that we already have live. So we basically have it. The only thing that we need is just to connect it with the store, and boom, you will be able to have it. We really important for us now is to connect all the technology that we have in Duda and build in a way that it's easily connected to each other, and even maybe to some areas that are not even connected to the store, but connected to transactions. So like we really let's say there was someone that asked about the quote functionality, to have a store but without being able to buy. So we do have it in a very easy way. We just, because as you saw, we have different widgets for each part of the product page. You can just delete button, add to cart, and instead of it, add a contact form and connect it to the product. So this way you'll be able to have a quote functionality within the store.
Customization. Love to hear that as well. All right, and the mysterious Mr. F asks, will the store remain intact, transferring sites between accounts?
Yeah, so there shouldn't be any problem with that.
Okay, simple enough. Very quick. I love that. Very straightforward answer. All right, let's get into process and workflow. So whoever wants to take the lead on this can maybe walk us through how a new store would be built, What are the core functionality? Obviously, inventory, products, and pricing setup, taxes perhaps, and then how they would launch.
Yeah, I can maybe share my screen again. Yep. Oh, yeah, you can see it?
Yep, we're good.
Perfect. So as I mentioned in the beginning, we want to guide the user to create the store very easily. And we know there are so many things to connect and to configure, but there are at least 3 or 4 main things that if you do it, then you're good to go, at least in the beginning. So first of all, you of course need to contact the customer and gather the assets. Your feedback on maybe incorporating some technology into the system that will help you do it will be great if it increases your productivity. But usual way of doing it once you already got the assets or you ask the customers to edit, it's to create the products in the system. As you can see, import feature is already almost here. So we know that import is important to import a big amount of products in the store. But for the smaller stores, you can also create it using the front UI. And I walked you through the creation of the product. So it's just simply adding all the assets and parameters you need. The same way we'll create the categories if you need to separate the products in the categories. And again, we know that it's very important to do it so that the site visitor can easily find product based on the category. And then the only things to connect to is to fill in the business information of the store, connect payment gateways, as we already talked. And here is the main part, and this is very interesting, actually. Franco, I think we can talk about it also. So we heard that for the smaller stores, smaller businesses, they actually don't use shipping automation, and they prefer to either include the price of the delivery into the product and then basically just send the delivery by themselves. Whereas larger stores, they prefer to use some shipping delivery providers to provide the rates. It's interesting to hear your comments on that. And again, meanwhile, we know that both of these options are very needed. So we are working on creating the integration with the aggregator that makes this automated rates available.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that shipping configuration is probably one of the hardest parts. Right there next to taxation and local taxes is probably one of the hardest parts of setting up any e-commerce store. So that's a welcome feature and welcome upgrades. We have a question also from Rich, which I think is really important. Is there a restore backup feature, or is it part of the main site backup? How is Duda handling that?
Yeah. So let me take that one. So first, the site backup works as is, meaning if you change the design, and you want to get back to the previous version, or the client messed up something, and we know that this happens like all the time. You get a call from the client, my site is broken, I don't know what to do. I clicked publish and everything is off. You can restore, of course, the backups of all the pages and show the site as it was in the last save point that you had.
Excellent. So we have our data, and our data will continue to be safe and stored on a nightly basis. Do we back up nightly?
We back up. First, you can always create manual backups at a certain point if you like, and also we automatically create backups in specific points that we know that are sensitive. Like in general in Duda, each time a site is published, we create a backup, so we know that you can go back to this version.
Excellent. So yeah, staged or stage point backups, right? Critical,
Yeah.
Absolutely critical. So let's talk a little bit more about the future. Obviously, y'all have covered some of the immediate next steps and import features and taxation as such. Is there what are you most excited about in the roadmap within the next 3-6 months?
So I would say two things. One is more of like a conceptual thing, and I would like to take on a point in Nadya's short demo now, that I think that, and this is a point that you might miss if you're not very much into e-commerce, that some of the features that we are planning to bring, like custom fields that Nadya showed today, are things that in many other e-commerce providers, you need to add an external application to do. But we think that they are basics and they should be part of our store offering, and you shouldn't deal as a website builder, a website designer, with working with too many apps in order to get, what is probably a basic functionality these days. So as a strategy, this is one of our main goals, to bring you a native, tight solution that allows you and your clients not to get lost in too many apps, not to know too many interfaces, making sure that everything works natively and smoothly. Of course, we are going to bring, many e-commerce apps to the App Store. The App Store team is working very hard on that, and we expect to see new apps in the coming months, because we know that especially in e-commerce, you have clients that have very specific needs, or used to work with an app, or they already have an account and they want to continue to work with that. So of course, we will give this flexibility. So this is more on the general level. I think that if you ask me about the features that I'm excited with, so I think that the two most big features, that everyone who's dealing with online retail and knows that they need, especially in the US, but also in many places, are automatic tax calculations and automatic shipping integration, being able to get an order, print a label, and send it. So these are some of the two big things that we are working now, and we expect to see within a few months in the platform.
Excellent. Very exciting. Nadya, how about you?
I think I was waiting for you to ask. So first of all, I'm always excited about any feature of e-commerce. Sweet answer. But then the reality is that actually I'm really excited about the filter and sort functionality, as well as search, because it will allow us to build the websites of the e-commerce, like, I don't know, I would say not Amazon, but something similar, and it's really nice to have this ability to create the real life websites.
That's incredible. Also, as a consumer of e-commerce products as well and software, schema markup we know is critically important. Google Merchant Center feeds, things like this, that I think are probably on your roadmap already, but also critically important for reviews and product pricing, and again, marketplace features, especially when we're competing with other stores that may be a little bit bigger than us. Right? We can do a little bit better job. Technically, we might have a better chance as well. Thank you for giving us a little peek into the roadmap as well. And, we are excited as you are. Magic Labs ask an interesting question as well. Can you create custom formulas for price calculators, such as measures and drop-down features?
So I think for this one, we are looking to partner with some apps. We know that there are very popular services there, and we want to allow our users to enjoy them. Some of them are already in progress. I cannot disclose who are they exactly, but I want people to know that we are working on that. And second, as I mentioned, we see these things coming from the core Snicart technology into ours. So for this, I don't have an exact timeline yet, but we once we know, we will communicate it. And I saw a comment in the chat, and I think that someone was worried that he's hearing, or he or she hear us say roadmap again and again, and I can totally relate and understand why, but I think that we see e-commerce as a long journey. In Duda, it's not a one-time project. It's not that we are going to, work in it for a year or two and then stop working on it. And as I said in the beginning, we now have an e-commerce group in Duda. I know that no one cares about our internal structure, but this, I think, reflects the commitment that Duda has to this. We have 3 big teams working on that, and we want to take this vision, very much into the future. And we know it takes time, but we will offer our users a very good e-commerce experience, which is, with agencies in focus. We won't be able, to have any feature that anyone has, or Shopify or Ecwid or WooCommerce, because we know that what will be the game changer for our agencies from the conversations that we have with them, for years now, is the ability to serve the clients fast, to run their business in the right way, and to have the best service and the best workflow internally. One of the things also that we didn't say, because we know that many people who watch here are Duda users, is that everything you can do with the store, you can save as a theme template, your template. If there's a design you like, a design that that works with your client base or with a vertical that you serve, and you can reuse it in many stores. And we are looking into many features like that to allow our users to speed up the workflows and make sure that they can have an agency offering alongside any client-facing e-commerce feature that we will provide.
Excellent. Nadya, any follow-up to Jonathan's comments?
Yeah, for me, you always know when I want to say something at school. So yeah, I actually wanted to add that first of all, in product, we say the product is never finished. And we mean by that is that, the technology goes further, and we need to be up to date. We don't want to just stay with the feature of the old e-commerce store. And we want to be able to, integrate with TikTok, or integrate with more social networks than they become available, because I'm sure somebody is already building one, and be able to be also in the same speed as Google. I just saw the new update of Google Chrome that also said something about the price comparison between the items you find in Google. So the technology goes further, and we need to keep up.
Yeah, that's a great point, and I think Rob brings up another interesting key thought here. There are third-party applications for reviews, and we know that reviews are last time I looked at the statistic, 40% of Amazon product pages are reviews. That's how much weight they give it. So there are third-party integrators, Trustpilot, Yotpo. How are we thinking about handling either review submissions or the review process?
Yeah. So again, I cannot talk about specifics of partnerships, but this is definitely one of the things we look into. We wouldn't like, to have popular review platforms not available in Duda. And we don't talk about these things usually in webinars, but one of the things that we got with Snipcart technology is a very rich set of APIs. So we know that all these integrations are going to be very simple for any application that is going to come. So we are very, come there, and we know that we have the basis to do that. And we also look into allowing our users to have some kind of a native built-in solution. That, of course, is not the same, but we think, that for some stores that can do it.
Excellent. Nadya, any follow-on thoughts on the reviews?
No, here it's absolutely the same idea. We talk with few applications, and we think it will be the fastest and easiest way to ship it.
Well, thank you. We didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm glad we put you on the spot. So I think what we're hearing is it's coming. Thank you for a little peek into the mysterious back end. I think it's useful for everyone. And again, this is all about serving our clients and our end clients as well. So let's talk a little bit more about templates real quick. Are there more e-commerce templates coming? Obviously, we know apparel and accessory category is 60 billion a year, roughly. I'm sure there's a lot of clothing stores and, things that we wear on our bodies and things we buy as presents. So are there some on the roadmap, or are they actively being developed for, a richer set of templates?
Yeah, for sure. It's one of our core ways to, first of all, to increase the productivity of the site building, and also to ensure the discoverability of the features in the e-commerce store. So yes, the answer is yes. The one template is already getting out of the oven, another one getting in. We also, it's really important for us to understand the needs for the specific templates. So we're carefully checking the data in order to understand what are the most popular templates and the most popular verticals for the stores being built on Duda, and that's how we plan the next templates.
I love your knowledge about the oven. There's cookies flying in, cookies flying out. So that's very exciting as well. And to our audience, if you have any recommendations or anything that you would like to see within the template library, send the feedback out, and hopefully it makes it onto the roadmap at some point. All right, so let's take a couple of extra minutes and let's think about what opportunities you think are the biggest opportunity for the agency owners, besides obviously having this new release with a lot of extra features coming up. If you were advising an agency owner on how to tackle their first project with native, what would you tell them, Nadya?
So I think it's important to understand the capabilities of the systems you have in place and the requirements. So we know that now, and we already have actually the live stores on Duda native e-commerce that are selling. So it means that there is a use case for the current functionality for sure. We are finishing currently our first package, which we think that is mostly suitable for the smaller businesses, and maybe somebody who could sell locally or sell physical products and send it using the standard shipping. And as you see also, again, I will say this word roadmap. We are already forming the second package of the Duda native e-commerce, which will be built with a thought in place to allow more scale with the import, with all the features that are needed for a little bit bigger stores. And of course, all the features that support selling and marketing the store.
Great point. White labeling, is that also a feature within the environment?
Yeah, of course. All the features that are available for the Duda website building are coming out of the box. So I think it's very important when kind of winning or persuading the customer about the platform for the e-commerce. It's very important to mention design flexibility, ability to build whatever comes to mind in terms of successful store, and ability to, of course, build it and with a great workflow tools that Duda has, and performance, of course. Performance, I think it's a winning factor here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for that. And Jonathan, any other client management features you can tell us about?
Yeah, I think that in addition to what Nadya said, looking into specific features and how to create the best offering for the client that you have for your first client, I think that one of the things that everyone uses this platform needs to do or would benefit from doing is thinking, okay, how do I create this in a scalable way? We know that with the previous solution, it was harder to do, but now you can think of templates, you can think of sections, you can think of using global colors, you can think of using client management, all the things that Duda gives you. And we know from our most successful agencies that when you find that the type of client that you can bring and you can sell to, and you can build a store quickly, and you can turn it around, as a work process very, very fast. This what allows you as an agency, to go into the e-commerce space and to make a good success there. And I think that if there's one thing I want to tell the agencies listening is to think about this and to take all the things that they love into the new native store experience.
Excellent. Thank you for that. And is there going to be an expanded knowledge base and learning center where, as the features roll out, the agency owners will be exposed to those and be able to use those?
Sure.
Go ahead, Nadya.
Yeah, I was just saying that again, sure, the same thing. I think we will have, as usual, all the resources that we show and more. We're going to create the battle cards, what I mentioned earlier, the comparison with different other e-commerce providers that can help you as well.
Yeah. And also to follow up on that, it's always good to remind that we have all the support assets that you get from the platform, like by clicking the question mark, etc., are also white label available for clients. Because as an agency, selling e-commerce, that when the client operates the store, they have questions. Okay, how exactly do I do that? It happens all the time, and we want to take as much as possible the support load of the agencies and to allow the clients to access support materials, documentation, knowledge base right from the platform in a white label fashion to help them in this process.
Yes, and we posted within the comments the subdomain for the university, so university.duda.co. Give that a little spin and see if you find the information that you're looking for, and recommend if there's a module that's missing or something you would like to see, please let us know. Excellent. So let's move over to Shane Williams's question: Is there an easy way to migrate an existing ECWID or ECWID store to a Duda native store?
So the answer is not yet, but we are working on that. We know that people would like to transfer, and we will have this as a solution. Once we have it, we will start communicating to users, to the relevant stores that we will allow to do so.
Excellent. And we shall not name the other e-commerce platforms, but I suppose in that word roadmap again, we would like a one-click button migrate store and have everything imported. So we'll leave that task to you guys for tomorrow. Can you have that done by end of business, please?
Define tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow should be great, right? There's 24 hours in a day. Excellent. All right, so we have about 9 minutes left. Let's open it up to some extra comments. Please ask questions, anything you would like to see within the platform, anything you'd like to understand, or ask our gracious experts here. And in the meantime, as we wait for questions, Nadya, any final thoughts about e-commerce in general, Duda and native?
Yeah, so actually we started, the more we researched the topic of e-commerce while being website building platform, we were kind of struck with the knowledge that e-commerce is not just a store anymore. E-commerce is any site that can have a transaction on it, and most of the businesses actually want to become this business that has a presence online. Corona and 20th century changed that. So we really understand that anything that can make the transaction on the website possible will make this business more profitable. And this is also what we advise to kind of promote to your customers. And from our side, we will be building more use cases to make it happen, from the full store as we made available today to the buy buttons and the ability to create just one product store.
The power of convenience. Yes, it's an incredibly powerful tool. Jonathan.
Yeah, sorry, can you remind me of the question again? I was reading the chat.
No, final thoughts again. Yeah, we're going to get to some other questions in chat. Thank you, Mr. F, our mysterious Mr. F. Please keep the questions coming. Final thoughts about e-commerce in general. Where do you see e-commerce going? How does how does Duda native help us get there? And any other closing thoughts about our discussion today?
Yeah, I completely agree with Nadya. I think that our vision is to empower the agencies and the clients to make more with their sites. We know that many of websites out there are informational, or they are used to lead generation. But we know, I think all of us know this when we sat in our homes 2 years ago and we couldn't get out, that people, both the buyers and the business owners, expect to have more digital interaction over the internet. And it could be on WhatsApp, it could be on Facebook, but it also needs to be on your business websites. So if you want to take more information or to book an appointment or to take some down payments, or as someone mentioned, you just want to display your products in a good way, in a SEO optimized way, in a design flexible way, and to get people to ask for a quote. Maybe it's a very expensive product like a wedding ring or something like that, or something that you must talk with them and you can continue the conversation. But people today, just calling the business or doing things like that, it's not enough. And we see e-commerce in general term, as a spectrum that allows you as a business owner to be in touch with your clients and to make your digital presence something that really drives business for you.
Yeah, and I think the underlying tone there is meet the customer wherever they're at, right? And I think that's not an e-commerce specific thing. That's also for just about every industry. Is some people like to chat, some people like to text, some people just want to pick up the phone and call you. So all those capabilities are not just e-commerce, but critically important to have across any environment. So great thought. So Mr. F posts an interesting question: Are booking appointments for selling classes planned? And I think I want to understand a little bit better. Are you meaning like a learning management system or selling an actual training course? I think that's the assumption on that question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I will take that. So this is one of the things that we are looking into. We've been offering in Duda platform in general, via our app partners, some booking capabilities, and we are going to offer more soon. But we do look in the long term to have this as part of our e-commerce offering and to allow users, again, to make a complete native experience out of this.
That's a great point. So Kyle is hashtagged our roadmap keyword for the day again. Will native become the only e-commerce solution available for Duda, or will ECWID, for example, always be retained as an alternative?
Yeah. So for that, as we said, that hashtag roadmap, we know that while we are building the native e-commerce, you as an agency might get a client, there's a specific feature that you need, and it's available on our third-party solution. And we will not block you in any way from using it. In fact, I think that for all our product team, one of the main KPIs that we look into and the main things that we use to motivate our users is each time our teams, is each time someone decides to go through the process of building a store, publishing it, having a client, doing it, when they can see two options and choose from them, and we want to be the best option for them.
Excellent. Nadya, continuing thoughts?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with Jonathan. I think in the long run, I think also there were some questions about that. We of course will be able to migrate the sites from the Equid to Duda if needed, and again, it will be also done solely by the wish of you guys.
Yeah, and I think that's the important metric there, is right. Duda is listening to you, and takes that to heart. This is the important, right? Internal customers, external customers. Guy or Guy, however you pronounce that, a Duda for the win. Thank you for that. JT, there's no better platform. Love Duda. Thank you again for the Duda love. Olesia, it's great to see you here. You're not in the stream this time, but thank you so much for joining us. We have 2 minutes left for some final thoughts. EveryTube TV asks, is it possible to import product variations?
So yeah, so once we have the import functionality available, which is again very soon, you will be able to import the options and the variations into the native e-commerce.
Fantastic. All right, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. I think the final message is get in there, test it, play around with native e-commerce. Please submit questions and feedback to our wonderful product specialists that have taken a little bit of time out of their exceptionally busy days to spend a little bit of time with us to help us understand the product. And it's a wonderful tool, rapid application development, rapid customer time to client, basically, and incredible client functionality within the system. Any final thoughts in our last minute here?
It's been a pleasure to actually talk with you, Franco, all this hour, and with all of you guys. Thank you for your questions, and please try Duda and come back if you're not satisfied. Come back next time. As you said, as Franco said, we have 1 day to develop features.
I would just say that, me and Nadya and the other people in the team, as this is a new product for us, basically the first thing that we do every morning is to open our internal dashboard and to see the new stores that we built with the native e-commerce solution. And I have to say that people are building, most beautiful things. We cannot share them because we don't share, our agency's work without their permissions. But I have to say it's a pleasure to go into the dashboard every day and to see the new designs, the new verticals, the new type of products, which I never knew existed, I have to say, live on our platform.
That's excellent. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you for giving us a little bit of your time and allowing us to unleash Duda e-commerce on you. Thanks everybody for joining. Love the questions, and we'll see you on the next e-commerce webinar.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.